Imagine living in a world where wars are fought with swords. Castles are nearly impossible to break, and knights in heavy armor dominate the battlefield. Now imagine one invention that makes all of that obsolete. Not a new army, not a new king, just a powder. This is the story of gunpowder, the explosive discovery that reshaped human history. But here's the twist. Gunpowder wasn't invented to win wars. It was discovered by accident. In 9th century China, during the Tang dynasty, alchemists were obsessed with one goal: finding the elixir of immortality. They mixed strange ingredients together, hoping to unlock eternal life. Instead, they created something that could destroy it. When saltpeter, charcoal, and sulfur were combined and exposed to flame, the result wasn't immortality. It was an explosion. At first, it wasn't used for war. Early gunpowder powered fireworks, colorful bursts meant to scare away evil spirits. It fueled primitive rockets and fire arrows. But it didn't stay harmless for long. As knowledge spread along the Silk Road into the Middle East and Europe, something changed. Engineers and military leaders saw potential. And once cannons entered the battlefield in the 14th century, there was no going back. Castles that once stood for centuries could now be shattered in hours. Armored knights became vulnerable. Warfare transformed forever. But what exactly makes gunpowder so powerful? Despite its massive impact, the formula is surprisingly simple. Gunpowder, also called black powder, is made from 3 ingredients: saltpeter, charcoal, sulfur. Each plays a precise role. Saltpeter, or potassium nitrate, is the oxidizer. It supplies oxygen, allowing the reaction to burn rapidly, even without air. Charcoal is the fuel. It burns fast and releases energy. Sulfur lowers the ignition temperature, helping everything ignite smoothly and violently. Separately, these materials are harmless. Together, they become explosive. The classic ratio that stood the test of time? Roughly 75% saltpeter, 15% charcoal, 10% sulfur. Too much charcoal, it burns weakly. Too little saltpeter, it won't explode properly. Precision was everything. In ancient times, gathering these ingredients wasn't easy. Saltpeter was sometimes harvested from decomposing organic matter, even manure piles, where nitrates naturally formed. Workers scraped nitrate-rich soil and refined it through boiling and crystallization. Charcoal was made by heating wood in low-oxygen environments, a process called pyrolysis. This created lightweight carbon that burned rapidly. Sulfur was mined from volcanic regions or extracted from natural deposits. Once collected, the ingredients had to be ground into extremely fine powders. And this part was dangerous. Grinding increased surface area, which improved performance, but also increased the risk of accidental ignition. A single spark could cause disaster. To reduce risk, manufacturers often used the wet method, adding small amounts of water or alcohol during mixing. This prevented sparks while ensuring even blending. After mixing came granulation. Instead of keeping the mixture as dust, it was pressed, dried, and broken into small grains. These grains controlled how fast the powder burned. Smaller grains burned faster. Larger grains burned slower. This allowed gunpowder to be customized for cannons, muskets, mining, or fireworks. It was early chemical engineering, but with great power came great danger. Gunpowder factories were some of the most hazardous workplaces in history. Explosions were common. Entire facilities could vanish in seconds. That's why storage was critical. Gunpowder was kept in wooden barrels, away from heat and friction. Military bases built separate powder magazines, isolated structures designed to contain accidental blasts. Despite the risks, demand exploded, literally. Gunpowder didn't just change war, it changed construction. It allowed miners to blast through rock, opening access to coal, gold, and precious minerals. It enabled railroads to carve through mountains. It sped up canal building. It even shaped global exploration. Naval cannons made empires expand across oceans. Colonial conflicts were decided with smoke and thunder. One simple mixture altered the balance of power across continents. And yet, over time, gunpowder itself became obsolete. By the late 19th century, smokeless powders replaced traditional black powder. These new propellants were cleaner, more powerful, and more stable. But none of them would exist without that original discovery in ancient China. Think about that. A failed search for immortality accidentally unlocked one of the most transformative technologies in human history. Gunpowder reminds us of something powerful. Innovation doesn't always come from intention. Sometimes it comes from curiosity and a bit of luck. 3 basic ingredients, 1 accidental discovery, and a chain reaction that reshaped civilization, from fireworks lighting up the sky, to cannons shaking battlefields, to tunnels carved through mountains. Gunpowder changed the world. And it all began with a simple spark.